Welcome back to the Help Me Rhonda show. Now, this week I've got something quite special, and I say that almost every single week. However, I have never had a rock star TV show celebrity from Indonesia turned affiliate marketer on my show before. So this is a very unique show. And I'm real excited to introduce this very powerful couple, because I want you to think about right now what's happening in the world, right? How many people have gone through so many changes and shifts in their life and have found themselves in a breaking moment and completely changed their life and the trajectory of their life overnight just by making a few decisions. So we are going to talk to you right now, Jono and Cheche Armstrong from Ministry of Freedom.
Hello. Hey,
how are you? Welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, it's really, really good to have you guys. And I mean, I'm serious. Like, wow, the first time we talked, I was like, okay, so let's see what you're about. I'm kind of like looking up your stuff. I'm like, that's kind of cool. There's a guy that kind of looks like you that's a big Indonesian rock star celebrity. And you were like, yeah. But you didn't tell me it was really you for a while.
I remember that when we
remember,
talked.
I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
There's a guy that's got your same name.
Yeah.
You go, actually, no, it's me.
Yeah.
So how did you get yourself into being a rock star, TV host, celebrity in Indonesia? Because here we are in Bali.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you're not from Bali.
No, I'm originally from the UK, and I came out here when I was like 20 years old. But yeah, it's quite a long story. But basically, yeah, I started doing TV work in around 2009, 2010, and prior to that, I'd had my band, and that all kind of blew up when I started doing this TV work. So the TV work started taking off, and then the band started taking off, and everything started taking off. And then, I for 4 or 5 years, I was known as Jono the bassist, or Jono the TV host in Indonesia. So.
Well, that's a pretty crazy life. So I have to ask, because everyone's going to ask, is this like the coolest thing? What was like the wildest thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh, you mean with the band?
Yeah.
And there's been a lot.
You're like, maybe I shouldn't say this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of crazy moments for sure. I mean, we did a lot of touring, especially around Indonesia. We went over to the US. We did a tour in the US, which was grueling. We started off we landed in LA, and then like a couple of nights later, we flew over to Chicago. We did a gig there, and then we flew to DC. Like a couple of nights after that, and then we took a bus from DC to Charlottesville like the next day, and the whole tour was like 10 days, but it was non-stop. It was really, really grueling.
The USA is not a small country.
No, it's not.
Across.
Yeah.
What was the name of the band?
It was called Guggen Blues Shelter.
Guggen Blues Shelter. What type of music was it?
Well, it's kind of a rock blues fusion. We did quite a lot of funk numbers as well. We wrote all of our own stuff. And we toured the UK like 3 or 4 times. Every weekend in Indonesia, we're in a different city, doing different university gigs and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, that sounds like exciting life. It gets you, in your early 20s, right? It was in your 20s.
Oh, it was kind of late 20s for me,
late
actually.
Late 20s. Yeah.
I wish it was early 20s.
Aging you a bit.
Yeah.
So share with me then, how did you go from being this TV star, rock star, paparazzi, kind of chasing you all over in Indonesia, to doing what you do now with the Ministry of Freedom and teaching people affiliate marketing and how to really leverage that online?
Well, it was kind of a roller coaster, because obviously I went from this whole rock star kind of thing that was going on, and then that all crashed because I got divorced when I was in 2013, 2014, and because a byproduct of me being on TV, like me and my previous wife, we were kind of public figures together as a result of me being in the band, as a result of me doing all these TV hosting and stuff like that, and they kind of blew up that whole story. But we got divorced, and the spotlight turned onto me. I turned into this bad guy. And so I lost all the TV jobs, I lost the band, I turned to alcohol, prescription drugs, like Xanax and diazepam and those over-the-counter kind of drugs there. And that just went into a downward spiral. You know, I blew a lot of my money on these drugs. I was going to the bar like 5 times a week, just getting hammered, trying to deal with the whole situation. Yeah. And then all the time, my social media was blowing up with hate of people, you know, hating on me, because saying that it was my fault that I got divorced. It actually wasn't, but I don't really want to go into that whole story right now.
Well, I mean, how does something like that happen to you? And you go from being on the top of the world, right? Yeah. Like being in front of everything and like loving life, to literally finding yourself in a spiral. How do you actually dig yourself out of that?
Well, I thought I was digging myself out of it through turning to alcohol and the drugs, you know, because that kind of helped me to escape the sad reality that was actually going on. And it all happened very quickly. You know, I went from this up here to rock bottom within the space of a few months.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where Chicha came in. And that's where we kind of started building our life back up together as a power couple.
Wow, so Chicha, it sounds like you played a really big role then in the support.
Yeah.
How do you, as a woman, like woman to woman here, you've got this guy who's kind of in the doldrums.
It was hard.
You must have saw something in him that he may have not seen in himself.
Yeah, well, back when we first met, we were actually, we met at that bar, the place where he hung out, because I also did music management myself.
Yeah.
So we basically hanging out with the same circle. So I met him, but that's just, I think over a course of like years. We were best friends, you know. We shared a lot of nights hanging out. Yeah. But there's something more than just hanging out. It's like whatever we're talking about, it's just click. Like the bands we're talking about, like from high school, and just whatever, like history, politics. It's just like, you know, I never have the same conversation with opposite sex before. I mean, like the way I have with Jono. At that time, it's just like everything is just like fill into places, and it's like, oh yeah, we're talking about a lot of stuff. You know, like the planet and everything, and it's
we met up just before I crashed. So when we met up, we were just having a good time in the bar, and we were friends.
Yeah, you know? We're friends, like wingmen. We're like wingmen.
We were like wingmen. Like I tried to set up her with some guys, and she did the same for me. So we were like best mates, and then that evolved and evolved and evolved as I was going down.
No, I didn't set you up. You're married.
Yeah,
you set me up with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
They're still buddies. I can see it. But I mean, but this is a really, you know, a big thing, right? Like, you're friends, and all of a sudden you go through all this, and then you found some kind of a connection. What were those like certain like tools or things that you guys did to actually kind of help bring you into the space of clarity, you know, to then becoming now the power couple that you are today? Like, did you go into like certain personal development, or like was there a spiritual awakening? Like what?
None of that stuff. I mean, we didn't take any coaching. We couldn't afford anything. I mean, at that time, it was either Chicha's mom who was buying us groceries.
Yeah, groceries, right? Or your mom. It's like his mom the next month, and then my mom the next month. It's like just so difficult at that time, and we just tired of it.
Because I got 3 kids. My ex-wife, she took my youngest son, and he was like 2 years old at the time, but my 2 teenage boys, they came with us. And they were like, how old were they at the time? Like
12 and 13.
Yeah, 12 and 13. So 0 money, not being able to support ourselves, let alone these boys. It was really bad. So it was either Chicha's mom who was buying groceries and bringing them to our house, or my mom would send us over money to help us to buy groceries and essentials, right? So we were really rock bottom. So before my band took off, I started dabbling in e-commerce. So I made a store. I knew how it worked. So at that point in time, when we had nothing, we still had our computers. And I taught Chicha the basics of doing, you know, e-commerce, and we set the store back up together. And she learned all the ins and outs of making these data feed spreadsheets, like CSV
Google
files
shopping.
for Google Shopping. And she took that on. And then she learned how to do web design as well, so she could make the shops look really nice, and we ended up taking on clients as well, like local
making
businesses.
websites. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like let's really highlight this. I know you're quite humble because it took me forever to actually figure out really what in depth that you do.
Yeah.
I think many would consider you as like this guru really of affiliate marketing and probably e-com at that time, you know, but you stay quite humble. What is the reason for that? Because I think this is it's a big highlight in who you are as a person as well.
Okay. I don't really know. I guess it's just me. I know I have a lot of friends as well that when they start to get into this position where they're earning a lot of money, you know, that they're bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, it changes them. And I've seen it happen to so many people and so many friends. You know, they just go crazy. They buy all these sports cars and they just. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's completely fine.
Do you think it was because of what you went through already and you lost something? And
yeah, definitely.
There's a lot more to it because you don't only sell courses and you don't only just want to be teacher, but you actually want the people to succeed. You know, he wants to be like, oh, this is the objective. So he's not only want you to get in the course, but he wants you to thrive, and he's taking it very seriously. Like, I want it to happen. So.
And one of the big things for me personally is because we've been through this rock bottom experience. I never want to go back there ever again. So what we do with our money is we invest it. We put it into bonds. We put it into, you know, crypto. Maybe not such a brilliant idea, but definitely safer ideas like bonds and investments and stuff like that, because we don't want to go and blow it on Lambos and nice watches and stuff. Cause
so over that.
we've been up and down in our lives, and usually it's kind of a circle. You know, either you're on the up or you're on the down, and we want to make sure that we don't go back down there ever again.
Well, that's big. I think that's a big thing that entrepreneurs go through, right? Like, you know, I've been in you know, the digital marketing space for over 15 years. 2004, I quit my corporate job to start my first company. I was the first one that made $1 million, and I built my own sales funnel, right? I was selling on Google Ads, right? I was selling personal development products. So I figured similar stuff out. But there was one thing that you see is like right when someone starts making money, all this fake it before you make it. Everyone's hiding behind websites. Right, and so there's two different styles of person and industry. Really, it's like them and us. Right,
exactly.
And you had mentioned this earlier. So you had a skill. The two of you came together. You started building this. So share now, what is Ministry of Freedom? Because that's what you're doing now. That's your company. That's your passion. That's like what got you out to bringing you in. Share what specifically you're doing now, because I think it's so vital. I love talking about, on this show, we talk about sexy brands, right? People that do something super unique. They know what they do. They know how they do it, and they really want to leave an impact on the world.
Okay.
And it sounds like that's something that you guys are really focusing on, especially now. People need the right education and the right information.
100%. Yeah, well, I mean, Ministry of Freedom was a byproduct, or it was born out of the journey that we went through, because obviously we were doing web design, we were trying to do e-commerce, it wasn't really working out for us. And we understood, you know, if in order to make good money online, you got to spend money on paid ads, you got to spend money on all of these different things, and we didn't have money to spend. So I figured out a way that I could start earning money without having to spend anything, and it was by doing reviews on YouTube of these digital products that were coming out. And there's digital products that are getting launched on a daily basis, you know, multiple digital products that get launched on a daily basis.
Like information products,
software,
software,
information products.
Okay.
And the good thing about digital products is the commission rate can be up to 100%. So it means instead of getting a measly 3% like you do on some of these Amazon products that are launched, you're getting like $27 or $37 just off the front end, and then you get 50% on the upsells. So I figured, okay, if I get review access to these softwares, to these digital products, and I teach and I show people inside, and I tell people what they're going to get if they choose to pick it up, then I can put my affiliate link in the description of YouTube, my description there. If they click on it and they buy it, I get commissioned with that. I took it a step further by creating my own, I call them bonuses. So for every one of these softwares that gets launched, sometimes, and it's not the fault of the software creator or the vendor, but they might leave out certain bits so it doesn't become a complete business in a box that newbies can understand. So it might just be a software that's going to help you to get more followers on TikTok, for example. But in order to make money from that software, you need to have some kind of training to show you what you need to do to make money from that. So that's where I come in with my bonuses. I add value to that product, and I talk about it in my review videos to incentivize people to buy that product from me. So that worked, and that's really what got us out of the situation that we were in. I mean, that alone was bringing in $200, $300, $400, $500 a day for free. It was like amazing. We just found this thing where we could literally pull money out of the sky for free. So we took it a step further I started hiring software developers so I could create my own products. And then I started selling my own products. And obviously, when you sell your own product, you have affiliates that are promoting these products. So they bring in all the traffic. You give them 100% on the front end. And then you got the upsells where you split 50-50. But every single person that buys that software that I've created, they go through onto my email list.
Yeah.
And that is so powerful. As you know, right? It's a real asset. Because then you can go back and you can start sending your subscribers on your email list to your review video. And then you stand out from what 90% of other people are doing, who are just sending them from their email list directly to some kind of sales page, to make their money. So I send it to my review videos so people see my face, they relate to me, and it all goes round.
Well, it's a brilliant process because, when you think about it, Google is the number 2 search engine, or YouTube is next to Google, right? Number 2.
Yep.
So if we can put our content in front of what people are looking for, but you're the guy that actually give them like the true review.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's how many times are we looking for products that we want to buy, but you're not quite sure, but then you review it and then you say, but look, you need this to actually learn how to use it. You just turned yourself into that value add, that expert that is actually, and really a coach and a mentor that's going to teach them how to use that. I mean, that's brilliant. How long ago did you start that?
This was 2017.
Okay.
Right at the beginning of 2017, I started to kind of suss this out, and obviously failed time and time and time again until... Cried.
Literally.
Tell
Yeah.
Why did I cry?
Because he got into this affiliate marketing. Leave me alone. So it's like doing all his research, and then suddenly he went downstairs because his office was upstairs and mine downstairs. Then he went downstairs one night, and then he went straight into the room. So I thought something must be went wrong. So I went in, and then he's like literally crying, like. Showing me that he was so ready to, I think you did the review, no, you were so ready to do your first review, but then the vendor didn't reply to him. So,
he didn't give me review access.
And didn't approve. So basically there's no reply. He showed me his email, like, look, it's sent, but nothing.
And I'd studied the product. I knew exactly what it was about. I just needed
so
that review access.
So what is review access?
It's basically they give you free access to their software or their
so you
product
can go
that they're going to
inside
launch. So I can review it before it actually launches.
Okay, so let me ask you, has that ever bit you in the foot, if you will, because you're good in review access and you're finding a hole that they've left open?
It's happened quite a few times, but the way around that is that I create these bonuses that fill in those holes.
Yeah, right.
And I tell people, look, there's a fault with this, but if you buy it via me,
I'll teach you.
This is what I've done to fill that void, fill that gap.
Wow, that's big. So who's working with you? Who's actually joining your courses and learning from you? Like is there like a specific niche that you're working with, or who do you prefer to teach and coach?
Not really. I mean, we've tried to make it as broad as possible because obviously when we got started doing this, we didn't understand anything. So what I've done is I've put together the Ministry of Freedom, which is essentially a coaching program. And it consists of 3 different elements. The first element is making these review videos. Okay, so I show people, what equipment you need, and you don't need any crazy equipment. You can actually use your cell phone as a webcam, and the software to record your screen is also free. So that's the first element, and the idea is that people can get started as soon as they've joined Ministry of Freedom. They don't need any further investments. Like with a lot of other coaching programs or training courses, you got to have an ad budget ready to spend on Google ads or YouTube ads or Facebook ads, right? By default. With this, you don't. You can you literally get started doing it 100% for free. So that's the first element. The second element is where I show people how to create their own digital products. So I show them where to outsource it. So they don't actually make it themselves. I just show them where they can get somebody else to create a software for them. So they don't need to have any technical experience to know how to create softwares or do coding or anything like that. You just need to know how to outsource. And by having your own product then, you get to sell it, you get to build up your email list, you make money from selling it, and then you can rinse and repeat that process every month, which makes you more money, it builds up your email list, everything starts to snowball. So that's the second element inside of Ministry of Freedom. The third element is I give people access to, because I'm selling Ministry of Freedom via YouTube ads, right? And I run it to my own custom funnel that I've made, and a custom webinar that I've put together, and I give my members access to everything that I use in my funnel. So I give them the templates, I give them my webinar video, I show them how to set it up inside of EverWebinar.
So they're also affiliates of Ministry of Freedom.
They're also affiliates
So you're
of
not
Ministry
only
of Freedom.
teaching them on the inside, but you're teaching them how to sell your courses as well.
If
So
they want.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
ask this because, you know, knowing what I know,
Yeah.
what's the percentage of success rate in selling, being an affiliate of your program, and then them actually kickstarting and starting their own affiliate, starting making revenue?
Well, I always tell people when they join Ministry of Freedom that going straight into paid traffic is risky financially, right?
For sure.
Because there's no guarantees,
Yeah.
you know. So I tell them that if they want the least, the path of least risk,
Resistance,
they should
yeah.
go and do it organically.
Yeah.
And then use the money that they've generated through the organic stuff, which is pretty much risk-free, to then go and invest into paid traffic. So on top of that, I'm giving them 80% commission, which is way more than any other affiliate product, especially at a high ticket level.
50 is like normally the highest, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So I do that because I know that most of my members are going to be using my paid ads funnel and they're going to be spending money on Google ads, and I want them to get a good return on investment, not just breaking even, but actually making some good money. So we really give them every advantage that we possibly can when they join. You know, that's the whole idea.
Well, I mean, and this is so big right now. I mean, think about GoDaddy just announced over 1 million domains are bought.
Yep.
Just in the last 3 months, something ridiculous. So that means everyone's trying to either go online with their current business or figure it out. So it sounds like the two of you have literally created, if you will, a turnkey business that's like, look, we're going to not only teach you, but we already have a proven program.
Yeah.
We're going to give you all of our material and marketing material. You can use that. I'll give you 80% if you bring someone else to learn.
Yeah.
And then we're really going to teach you how to do it.
Yep.
I mean, it seems almost too good to be true.
We've tried to make it as pain-free as possible for people to get started doing this. But at the same time, you know, it's not a get-rich-quick thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
it.
something that you can just come in, press a few buttons and make money, because it doesn't work like that. They still have to put the
work.
effort in. Now, luckily, they don't have to go through the whole learning curve that we went through when we first discovered this, because they've got a massive head
That's the
start.
main reason we create Ministry of Freedom as well.
Exactly.
To have a shortcut so they don't have to experience what we experienced
Exactly.
before for years.
Yeah.
And some of the shortcuts that we've created, I mean, we have this thing which is, we call the rotator, right? So what that means is that I will still continue to review products on my YouTube channel, which now has around 50,000 subscribers. And I have quite a big following on my YouTube channel. So whenever I do a review of products, there's a lot of people that buy just from my YouTube channel alone. So what we've done now as a way to incentivize people to start taking action is, okay, they go and make their review video, they upload it to their YouTube channel. They might not have a lot of subscribers, but what I will do is, once I've seen that they've put the effort in, I will take their affiliate link and I'll put it onto a click rotator.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'll put the link to that click rotator in the description of my YouTube video. So when people buy, they're buying from my review, but that's actually going through my members' affiliate links. So they're making money. And the only
Based
thing
on
that
your efforts, as long as they're
Exactly.
taking action.
Yeah.
Because we figured people get demotivated very quickly, right? If they don't have some kind of motivation, they're just going to think, okay, this doesn't work. you know, and it is difficult to get started in the beginning. That's why we have these rotators, so that they can see, okay, I made $50 today.
Yeah.
This works, you know. I want to really make a good effort on this, because we know once they have that spark of motivation, they're really going to put a lot more effort into it. And when they do that, the results are going to follow. So
yeah, I mean, I love it. It's like you're giving people the actual roadmap of how to do it. And we did the same thing when I started, you know, years ago. We were starting to create the link rotators. I didn't even know they still had those around. But they're so powerful to be able to, like, I was building teams, you know, and I've got, don't worry, I'm going to do the marketing. And they're like, I can't be like you. I'm like, don't worry, you don't have to be. You can use my marketing efforts, right? And it works. It's brilliant, because it kickstarts someone's efforts. But my biggest question, though, thank you for sharing all this, is that how does the dynamics of the family work? Right? Because my husband Brian and I have been working together 15 years. I retired him from being a robotics engineer. This internet marketing thing that he thought I was completely crazy. And here we are 12 years later, you know, 15 years later, traveling the world and living a great life. Were you on board right away, or were there some resistance? Because Brian was completely resistant. He thought it was insane. But the two of you seem to like kind of grow it together. So how is that now in the dynamic of working together? Does it get stressful? Like, how is it for you?
Quite the opposite, really. Because I mean, we started doing all of this ourselves organically before we even put Ministry of Freedom together. So I was doing my YouTube review videos, and then I was making my own products and launching them. And to do these product launches, we had to make these sales videos. So we went really hard into cinematography, videography. We bought some decent cameras. So whenever I'm doing my sales videos, she's behind the camera filming me. And then for all like the B-roll and stuff like that, she's got the gimbal out, and she's, you know, filming me in these different angles. And
so if you see his fantastic video, so behind it, I was like going crazy with the gimbal, and then
behind every powerful man in a video is a more powerful woman behind the gimbal.
Literally behind the camera. So yeah, she does a lot of that side of it, the creative side of it, when it comes to making the sales videos. And then also,
I think it's because we have our own part, so we don't get into fights. We have our own division, so he gets to get in his corner and I get to be in mine. And then the process itself, I think it brings us together. I mean, since the very beginning, you know, like we couldn't afford lighting, you know, so we have to find the best spot in the house, you know, we couldn't afford desk, we need to go with the ironing board, slow laptop. So the whole process itself, it's like, you know, like making us closer in the journey, in the online
and really
journey.
growing together. And I think that's a beautiful thing, you know, because you both saw the lowest, and then you just continue to build on. What's next for you? What are you doing next, other than, you know, Ministry of Freedom, and like what more is coming up for you?
We're just focusing really on Ministry of Freedom and helping our members as much as possible at the moment. You know, we have 5 live Q&A calls every week.
Wow.
I have a team of 16 people, so we're working with the team to try to make it as efficient as possible. So I've got 4 coaches, and they do a Q&A each every week on top of me. So I'm Monday, and then we got the other guys. And we have a good support team.
We have a great support team that actually works.
Yeah.
We couldn't find one before, but we created a good one.
We've been building this has been like our main focus, because I bought into products in the past, and it's just like you buy something, you're left alone in the woods to kind of go through the videos and figure everything else out. And we didn't want Ministry of Freedom to be like that. So we've put a big conscious effort into building a support team and a live support team who can answer via a live chat whenever people need it. And Chicha helps out a lot in the Facebook. We have a private Facebook community there. And you also make people's graphics and banners for them as well.
I just help as much as I can.
Wow. Do you guys run events? Have you, like, obviously now it's been difficult. Had you done events before?
I've spoke at a few events before, but it was before I'd even created Ministry of Freedom. I'd like to. I mean, I don't have anything against it, but you know, for us at the moment, our main focus is just trying to help as many people as we can through our program. we haven't really thought about what's the next step. Maybe Chicha will get into stocks, investments or something, because she's good at that, you know, she's got this mathematical mind, and she knows how to spot a bargain. She's great when we go to the markets over here, you know, bargaining with people and getting the best deal. So gotta bring out her advantages.
Yeah, like double click on all of our strengths, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just really beautiful, guys, and because, you know, this is really truly what entrepreneurialism is, right? We come from, you know, like it always comes from a need.
Yeah.
That's usually where we always create what we do, is because it came from a need that we had, and then we just make it even better, and then to now even be able to serve more people, because right now people are looking for answers, they're looking for guidance, they're looking for real authentic people to show them the right way. I mean, there's so much stuff out there, and I talk so often about this red sea and this blue sea that Russell Brunson talks about, right? We either be at the red sea where everyone's at, or we make ourselves so unique, and we actually help people and be so real. And that's why I appreciate it so much. Like in your videos, you're just such a natural guy. You know, like you're doing amazing things. I would consider you really a guru in your space. No one's doing what you're doing. Yeah. But you're like, no, I'm just here to help my people. Yeah. And that's you know, that's integrity, and that means so much. So if any of my followers want to find you, how do they find you? Where's the best place for them to go learn more about Ministry of Freedom, and where do you play at most of the day on social? Right.
I'm not really that up to date on my social media accounts, honestly. I should probably post more stuff, but
YouTube.
I don't.
Should they just find you on YouTube then?
Yeah, I guess go to my YouTube channel. It's Jono Armstrong. You can just search on YouTube Jono Armstrong and my channel should come up. That's probably the best way to find me. I mean, I can give you a link to go to my auto webinar, which explains everything about Ministry of Freedom and gives you the chance to get inside as well. I can give you that link if you want to give that to your
please
followers.
Say it on the show live, and then we'll also put it in the show notes.
Okay, it's ministry-freedom.com/HTML.
Okay, cool. We'll make sure we put this on the show notes, because this is big. I mean, you are literally creating an opportunity for people. I give people every day, what do we do? How do we build our brand? How do we sell something? Like, don't even start thinking about building a brand unless you like start selling something first, and then start building the brand. Because I used to say, start building the brand, then start creating. However, now if people are entering into this market, they got to find and learn it. You know, like learn how to do it, and then start, you know, creating all the sexy stuff around it. And you know, I've changed my ways a bit, because it's I want people to be successful. And instead of spending all this time and effort and money on the development on the front end, find what you're going to love, what you can do well at, and find the right solution that you can just stick with for a long period of time, and then let's start creating around it.
Well, I guess a lot of things have changed, especially in the past 5 years with social media especially, but the foundations of having a successful business is going to be to have some kind of following, right?
That's it.
And before it was all about having email following, you know. But now it's more about Instagram, YouTube, you know, all these social media platforms. So it means you can reverse it the other way and do it, get the following first, find out what you really want to do, and then put your product together.
That's it. Right? Yeah, inspire people. And I think that's what the world's looking for anyways. Someone that's really, truly authentic and willing to help them and to be inspired. And then if you can solve a problem, boom, now you got the winning combination.
Exactly.
Thank you both so much for being here. Thank you for who you are as humans, as entrepreneurs, as a power couple that is helping others change their life. I mean, you've got children at home, and you're home with them every day. Right? And this is a beautiful gift that we get to offer to other families.
It's amazing.
You know, and you know, the world has changed. The old normal is dead. It's time to create and to think differently.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thanks,
I really,
Rhonda.
truly appreciate it.
So
what do you think? Can you imagine yourself right now searching for a way to give value back, to create an income online that actually can sustain your life and your family? This is what Jono and Chiche have done, and they're now teaching other people how to do it. You see, when we bring people together that have true heart, true authenticity for what they believe in, and they're willing to help others, That's what we call a sexy brand. And those are the ones that you want to align with. I am so excited for having you not only watch this show, but I want you to take action right now. Look into Ministry of Freedom. This is a solution that I've never even heard of. And they're giving you everything. And I don't say those type of things lightly, right? They're giving you not only the exact steps, how to do it, but they're mentoring you and they're coaching you. And these are the type of people that I want to align with and that I want and deserve my audience to align with as well. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you're making some comments, leaving some, some information down below if you want more access. But I always want to leave you with this at the end of every single show. If you're going to create a brand, create a sexy brand. And if you're going to be anything, be unstoppable. We'll see you on the next show.